Hello, people.
18 hours of hell.
18 hours of hell.
Been a sinner from just both my niggas. Took that dinga, took that dinga, took that dinga. They're all riding with the dinga, and they're going with the nigga. If only it was cold bar and you could pause it. £240 to go. Aim for the chest and higher.
Oh yeah, these are my 10 rounds, aren't they?
Right,
Look,
well,
have you got any cans of Monster?
no, I've got some Pepsi though.
Get the thing off your can, yeah, and just stick it in your R2 button. That's what I'm doing, I'm just literally sitting here on my phone.
Let me get my can thing. Ben, welcome to Brixton. I'm in the party with Barbies and Drillers. Man on a spinner, seamless man just flown from the niggas. That dinga, dinga. They're all riding loose with a chinga. There we go.
Sick, isn't it? You can just sit here on your phone. Make sure you're aiming it, see what the second pillar is.
Nah, it's fine wherever I'm aiming it because it's gonna get him killed. As long as I'm aiming in that general direction.
Well, I'll aim a bit here, a bit more here, you know, just in case they get past.
Yeah.
Welcome to Brixton.
Yeah, I'll get back here, man, just...
Singing voice, except Chris Brown.
Did you hear that?
Put a finger down, COD Zombies edition. Put a finger down if you, I don't know, love Rick Duffin's ass. Put a finger down, COD Zombies. It's been a whole day and the popcorn seeds didn't pop, but I've got just like iCloud, baby, I need my own space. If you need, baby, then put it on. Just like iCloud, baby, I need my own space. If you need, baby, then put it on. Just like iCloud.
She says we're cool. I was crying no more cause I'm cool.
I was dying and nobody was there. You know do?
What?
We need some people.
I know.
You want to know what my mate got me into?
What?
It's Active Gang. I'll put it on. It's like fucking what's his name? It's all like drill. It's fucking sick. I don't care.
Hiya, I'm Danny Dyer and this is my dad. And we've got a brand new Spotify original podcast called Salty with the Dyers.
Each week we're going to be hearing about your everyday life struggles. Follow us on Spotify to never miss an episode.
Salty with the Dyers because when it comes to solving problems, two Danny Dyers are better than one. Features you've been missing are waiting for you with Spotify Premium. Unlock ad-free music and unlimited hits. Any device.
Hey Lewis, there's no point in us having like turns, is there? Because we're both just sitting here doing nothing with the. Your things went off.
Yeah, I know. I was checking what level, how far I was from leveling up.
How much is it? 3,000 XP.
Oh god, mine's not. There we go.
I'm using your intro song because it's just an amazing song.
Oh, do you know what? It's actually a really good film.
What?
Extremely wicked and truly vile.
I haven't seen it, but oh fuck off! I've just clicked off it.
It's about Ted Bundy. Do you know
Oh,
who Ted Bundy is?
Yeah, the killer.
Yeah, yeah.
You know he was in an asylum like 5 minutes away from my house.
Nah, I
It was
didn't.
neither Ted Bundy or
I don't think it would have been Ted Bundy because Ted Bundy's an American.
oh, let me Google his name. I'm just gonna, cause it's a place by my house.
Nah, but because what's his name? Zac Efron plays Ted Bundy.
Newsham Park Hospital in Liverpool
Oh, I wanna watch that.
is known worldwide as the site of an extremely dark and negative haunting. Katrina and I have been researching this building for years, both anticipating and dreading the chance to someday
You
step
can rent it
inside
on
and experience
YouTube
it for ourselves.
from YouTube Movies.
Originally built in 1874 as the Royal Liverpool Seamen's Orphanage, it held the orphans of the city's many sailors lost at sea. Over the next 75 years, life was tough for the thousands of children there, with siblings routinely separated and cruel punishments for those that didn't follow the strict rules. Hundreds of children died there, many never knowing another home. It became a hospital in 1954, then a psychiatric asylum in 1992. During this time, it held some of the country's criminally insane, including the horrific serial killer Ian Brady.
Ian Brady, that's his name.
Of torturing and murdering 5 children in the 1960s. Now, as
Is me fucking going to this place every day?
the building sits abandoned, it is to return. It has been 72 hours investigating the. It's night 2. We had a lot of paranormal activity so far, but we haven't had any.
Ted Bundy was an amazing man.
Talk about. Many people believe that the basement is the.
What's the film called? Again, sorry.
It's called Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile.
Oh yeah. Ted Bundy confesses to a murder.
Do you know he only confessed to the murders so he could try and get an insane plea. So
Getting in an insane asylum.
No, so he could come off death row. So he could be like considered not mentally ill, not mentally right for the death thing. I'm gonna rewatch it, you know.
Yeah. Shit. Is it on Netflix?
Nah, it's on YouTube, but you gotta pay for it. Actually, I'm just gonna watch some shit about Ted Bundy. He hacksawed her head off. No, he wasn't. He was a legend, and I would have.
Who said that?
Oh, apparently I'm watching a documentary on him. I think he's a legend, and I would have loved to have met him.
Yeah, apart from the time he might have tried to rape you.
Nah, because he only went after women, so I would have been fine.
You know what's a really good film?
What?
Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh, no, I've not seen it.
So it's like this fella goes into, you know, like where like Pearl Harbor in like World War II, like the Japanese. So there's this fella, he's like a Christian, and like he gets deployed into where he signs up for the war, and then so he's like, oh, I don't want to kill anyone, and then he's like, he goes to court because apparently he's doing a court martial and he was going to get sentenced to death for disobeying orders. But then the court approved him, and then he was allowed to be a combat medic, and then he saved like 200 people without using a gun. It's actually really sick.
I remember wanting to watch it when it came out, but then I just didn't get around to it.
Lewis, we're nearly there, 232 rounds left.
I know. Yay!
Yay!
Only 17 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, Lewis, I'm gonna watch Tim Hansen's full 8-hour live stream. Could you cover me if I go and get a drink? Some
yeah.
Pizza. Just don't end the round in it, because we need to do the Easter egg steps.
On January 23rd, 1989, at Florida State Prison, journalists were being shut out of one of the biggest death row stories of the decade. The serial killer Ted Bundy was about to reveal what had driven him to commit some of the worst sex crimes America had ever seen.
In 5 cases, he took the girls' heads off and kept them as souvenirs. In one case, I believe he bit a nipple off. It was like a shark, just, feeding in a frenzy. You could look into their eyes, you could hear their last breath, and actually breathe their last breath as they exhaled.
As journalists competed to get Bundy's final interview, he surprised everybody by agreeing to talk to one man only, Dr. James Dobson, a Christian evangelist who flew in especially for the interview.
You really feel that hardcore pornography and the doorway to it, softcore pornography, is doing untold damage to other people and causing other women to be abused and killed the way you did others?
Listen, I'm no social scientist, and I haven't done a survey. I mean, I don't pretend that I know what John Q. Citizen thinks about this. But I've lived in prison for a long time now. And I've met a lot of men who were motivated to commit violence just like me. And without exception, every one of them was deeply involved in pornography, without question, without exception, deeply influenced and consumed by an addiction to pornography.
As Dobson saw it, this interview contained a powerful message, one that was central to the Christian evangelical movement, and which fanned the flames of the debate about the role of hardcore pornography in violent sexual crimes. The interview was given to every broadcaster in America on one condition, that they play it unedited from start to finish. But had porn really been responsible for turning a seemingly all-American boy into a monster?
He told Dobson what he wanted to hear, that it was hardcore pornography, violent, hardcore pornography, that led him astray. And that's something that I will not allow my industry to take the blame for.
I knew what he said was true. Common sense tells you that that type of hardcore
My dad's a registered sex offender.
especially, and it breeds disrespect
And he
and
rapes
violence
young
and
women.
so on.
You want to know who his first victim was?
He started a debate that led all
Joe's
the way to the
sister.
White House.
Yeah.
Everything's always Joe's sister.
That would open the chamber of horrors.
Why did you
Crash the Bama.
possess a Porsche or a potted plant?
He was basically reconstructing who they physically were.
On the eve of serial killer Ted Bundy's
Wait, so-
execution, crowds gathered outside Florida State Prison,
Hmm.
determined to see justice.
Ted
done
Bundy.
for one of America's worst
He's like,
criminals.
he said, oh, I'm criminally insane, so we got off death row.
No, he said, no, right, basically, he thought by because he denied all the murders throughout all his course, like, well, his case, and then about 2 weeks before he was supposed to be executed, he admitted, he thought if he admitted to some of them, they could diagnose him as mentally ill, so he wasn't fit for the death penalty.
And did he get the death penalty?
Oh no, he still got executed by electric chair, which is a shame.
Oh no.
If I ever ban someone for a really bad joke, that would make me the biggest hypocrite alive. Half my stream is bad jokes.
No, I was watching that.
Did and who he was.
I think Ted Bundy in the United States probably is a standard by which other serial killers are judged.
In a 4-year period, Bundy committed a series of vicious killings that horrified the public.
Beginning with Linda Ann Healy in January of 1974, Bundy began killing approximately one girl a month. In fact, later on, the police would produce what they called the Girl of the Month Club, as they traced the girls who disappeared and then were later found dead.
We're up 30 points, right?
When police finally arrested Bundy, America was shocked. He appeared to have it all. He was good-looking,
That's the plan. Look, I'm gonna be
a
right.
good student in a budding
Man needs a
college.
fat
You're
shit.
gonna be right here, okay?
But he also had a
Everybody
fake
other wide receivers, they don't matter. It's only you and me, bro.
Like other kinds of addiction, you keep looking for more potent, more explicit, more graphic kinds of material. Like an addiction, you keep craving something which is harder, something which gives you a greater sense of excitement.
But had this addiction made him a killer? This controversial interview divided public opinion on the role of pornography in sex crimes. It was an extraordinary meeting between a violent serial killer and a Christian evangelist that had been brought about when God sent a message to a lawyer and his wife.
We were watching the evening news, and they showed us a picture of Ted Bundy, and she looked at me and said, "John, the Lord just told me that you're going to have a dramatic influence over his life.
With Christ's assignment in mind, John and Marcia Tanner became regular visitors to Bundy on death row.
There was another issue that Ted eventually revealed, and that was the role that hardcore pornography had played in diverting his path to the one that he ultimately took.
What happened with adult entertainment between 79 and 89, it became prolific. It became videotaped. It became accessible beyond people's wildest dreams. It moved out of the theaters and into the home.
The Tanners' visits coincided with a sea change in attitudes to pornography.
No, it's not.
So when Ted Bundy said he had a message he wanted to be heard, they knew just who to approach.
It's fine.
James Dobson was a Christian evangelist and a member of the powerful Meese Commission that had investigated the links between pornography and crime and was vehemently anti-porn. A repentant serial killer, especially one as photogenic as Bundy, must have seemed like divine intervention.
I told him that I thought we could trust
It's still gonna take us ages to get to round 255.
glamorize or pervert or sensationalize what he had to say, but would probably take his words and let him just tell his story.
The interview was arranged for the eve of Bundy's execution and was greeted with skepticism by seasoned Bundy watchers.
Dobson honed in on the pornography detail because that was his shtick. He was trying to have a war on pornography. He'd been part of a task force that he had helped get engineered through the federal government, and he wanted to use Ted Bundy as the poster child of why pornography is bad.
In his 2 years on death row,
I did have a hangover, and I've just taken the little thing off of the Coke can and stuck it into my R2 button.
this final taped interview seemed like the perfect opportunity to really find out what made Bundy the killer tick.
First of all, you, as I understand it, were raised in what you considered to have been a healthy home.
Absolutely.
You were not physically abused, you were not sexually abused, you were not emotionally abused.
No way. And that's part of the tragedy of this whole situation, is because I grew up in a wonderful home with two dedicated and loving parents and one of 5 brothers and sisters. In the clip, Ted talks about his childhood being loving and Christian, but at the time of his execution, a defense psychologist came up with a lot of material that suggested otherwise.
It's hard to imagine the childhood Bundy described to Dobson producing a brutal serial killer. But he failed to mention something specific about his early years that others believe haunted him throughout his life.
The question of Ted
Yeah, I know. I went downstairs, proceeded to drink the rest of my vodka, and then passed out on the living room floor.
his head, and I think it preoccupied him as well.
So that was fun.
Mention was his birth in November 1946 in a home for unwed mothers in Burlington, Vermont.
His mother, Louise Cowell, had gone there from Philadelphia to have Ted. She later told the story that Ted's father was a World War II veteran who had romanced her and compromised her and then abandoned her.
In the course of our investigation, we interviewed a lot of people, including some of his family. One member of his family, I believe his aunt, told us that there had been suspicion that in fact his grandfather was also his father.
She was, well, no, because we was watching First Dates, and my mum started to sign me up
To avoid the shame
for it,
and legitimacy,
and then she went, what's your preferred woman?
later she moved
And
to
then
Washington.
I was just like, female, and then my mum's boyfriend went, blonde hair, big boobs,
Would you be
and I went, yeah.
pretending to be a brother when you know it's your mother? He told me that he discovered it by going through his parents' papers, and that he said it came as a bit of a revelation to him. Now, I spoke with a boy that was a very close friend of Ted's, and I asked him if he had ever discussed the illegitimacy question with him, And he said yes. And the sense this fellow had was that Ted was deeply angry about it, that he was very hurt by it and he was upset by it. And when he tried to sort of say, well, Ted, you know, Johnny loves you, you don't worry about this sort of thing, he said, Ted's answer was, you're not the one who's illegitimate.
The young Bundy also appeared to be acutely conscious of his family's lack of money.
Nah, fuck that.
Talking to me about how he was so mortified that his family drove these sensible, ugly ramblers.
Because you know what I'm like, I'd end up getting pissed making a complete tit out on myself.
A lot of money, and how he was jealous and resentful of kids in school who had more things than he did. And it's a very early sign that Ted has this sort of narcissistic fixation on things and on possessions. And of course, possessions becomes a very key word later on in his life.
As Bundy was growing up in the 50s, America was discovering sex. Back then, Hugh Hefner had just published Playboy, which, though tame by today's standards, provoked moral outrage. In this climate, Bundy claimed to Dobson he made a discovery that was at the very root of his motivation to kill.
As young boys do, we explored the back roads and sideways and byways of our neighborhood, and oftentimes people would dump the garbage and whatever they were putting out of the house, and from time to time we'd come across pornographic books of a harder nature than more graphic, I say, more sophisticated.
The thing fell out of me.
It's fine.
Yes. Ted tells Reverend Dobson that when he was a young boy that he found pornography, as he called it, outside the house. Things he saw in grocery stores and things he found rummaging.
I was just watching this fella on YouTube then. What do you call it? He does like makes his own drinks.
Well, I grew up.
And he made the original 4 perks, and he made them all out of shit. Like he made Speed Cola out of like Midori and fucking vodka.
Oh,
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Oh, Midori, nah, I can't stand that. I had that
I
on.
thought you liked Midori.
I had it on New Year, and it's kind of anything that I drank on New Year, I can't really drink anymore because of what happens to my hair.
And you don't trust yourself.
I can't drink the mango absolute vodka. I just don't like sours at all because it tastes horrible. I had Midori, so I don't really like that. Fuck's sake, my fucking documentary's gone off. Oh, it means you're a moderator of my chat, so you can time people out.
Exactly the same town as Ted, and went into the same kinds of grocery stores he went into, and there wasn't anything like that on the store's shelves in those days.
Oh, did you make me a moderator?
I didn't. Wait, I don't know if I've made you a moderator. I think I have, but I'm on about my mate.
Can you make me one?
Yeah, go comment something on my you probably already are one, but just go to my chat and comment something.
With their lurid depictions of women in peril, it was violence, not sex, that became the real moral panic of the 50s.
The EC comics were extremely graphic to the point that there was always some form of female terrorization. Erotic terror, I guess is what you would call it. It unlocked the zipper of an awful lot of minds of children and eventually teenagers until they were banned.
If you've commented something like nigger, it's not going to show up.
Oh, I commented black people.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's going to show up.
I just commented Joe.
Bullets ripping through people, limbs being hacked off.
There you go, you were mod.
But constant terror in the look of these beautiful women in lingerie, I'm willing to bet that they started to ignite what became a forest fire in Bundy's psyche. This Ted Bundy told me was
I'm one
real
sexy
pornography.
mother.
It was this demonic, as he classified it, demonic.
Yes, I'm a
presence,
moderator.
chemistry,
What can I do? Like, say if someone comes on, I can just time them out.
Mhm.
For Bundy, this was a cocktail with a lethal effect.
Me and Kai, if Joe comes on, me.
Kai actually timed you out before yesterday when I was
Yes,
passed
Kai.
out.
I'm watching Minecraft YouTubers.
No, my fucking ring thing fell out.
Oh, I find it easy to just wedge it in as far as it goes and bend it a bit.
When Ted talks
Where the fuck has it gone?
about the entity inside him,
Good job you wasn't AFK when that happened.
the word is pornography fueled this entity.
What's that big fucking box netherport you built?
What the entity
Oh, it's just, I don't know, it's just something.
interested in was
Did it work?
Yeah.
He said I used the word entity in talking to people
And
because I
guys,
felt
if you
that
pull your
that's what they
parachute
wanted
and then
to do.
release it,
That they
you will
could
still
accept
survive
it.
the fall to the
That they would
water
have
as long as you
extreme
are above
difficulty in
70%
saying, I decided to
HP.
kill 3 weeks from now, and I psychologically put it on my calendar, and it was going to happen.
It should go without saying,
Thought
but
that
if you
people
don't
had
pull it,
difficulty in comprehending that, so he said
Oh, no, it's fine, you did a good thing.
material forces or something like that. It's not uncommon for other serial killers to do that. I've had the opportunity to interview many.
The key issue here is that Ted was on his course to behave the way he behaved with or without pornography.
Gradually, Bundy started turning his fantasies into a disturbing reality.
One night, he gets drunk, and there's quite a bit to drink, and he's walking down the street, and he sees a woman walk out of a bar, and not even thinking, he follows her. And he follows her to her house, and as she's trying to get in the door, he runs up behind her, and she screams, and he runs away. Again, he's out one night, prowling around. Again, he's had something to drink. Again, he sees a woman. This time he grabs a stick and comes up behind her and hits her on the head. And then, again, shocked at what he's done, runs away. He gets into peeking, which is one way of getting what he wants.
Hello, Tim here. We are going to rank every power-up in Call of Duty Treyarch Zombies. It's another ranking video because people like them, I like making them, and I got no other ideas. There are many power-ups in the game. However, we are only going to look at the 11 main
On
ones,
January
and
4th,
that's kind of a loose
1974,
definition, but
Bundy
I'll give
crossed
you an
the line.
example. The Widow's Wine Grenades, we're not going to be counting those. Like the Groff modules from Barrage Trophy, we're not going to be counting
She was
those. The
found
Siege from
barely
Zetsubo,
breathing,
not a
covered in
chance.
blood,
Going over the
and with a
bonus
metal
power-ups like
backbone.
the
To get to round 255, it's going to take us like 18 hours.
that are technically drops, but listen guys, I was caught.
By July 1974, the whereabouts of 6 missing girls around the northwest remained a mystery. Bundy had become a calculating killer.
Each time I'd harm someone, each time I'd kill someone, there'd be an enormous amount, especially at first, enormous amount of horror, guilt, remorse afterwards. But then,
Fucking hell.
to do it again would come back even stronger.
Someone got to the Reisendrache, round 255 with 4 player.
Fuck that.
Yo, what's up YouTube? It's me, Frenzy, and in today's video I'm actually going to be answering one of the most commonly asked questions in high round co-op zombie live streams or co-op videos that I upload. And that question is how to take a sleep break or how to just take a break in general in zombies.
Yeah, man.
So, what you're going to want to do first is on the Giants, and I'm going to be using the Giants in this video for the example. You want to make sure that you have all of the windows in the spawn room and near the spawn room boarded up room so that you won't actually kill it, and you'll go to the spawn on the window and then board it up repeatedly as he's trapped behind it. Now this will work successfully in Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, but this is where things get tricky. In Call of Duty Black Ops 3, this no longer works. But what you're going to want to do is actually have your teammates hit the box to get a ray gun.
Ted did not have any guilt. He did not have any remorse. He did not have a conscience.
I'm not being funny about it, but if you're going to kill, you shouldn't have remorse for it. Well, I don't think you should, because if you've got...
You can listen to live conversations.
No, I don't think you should. If you're gonna do it, be proud of it.
Kill what?
No, because they were saying Ted Bundy was like bad because he had no remorse for his killings. But if you're gonna kill someone, don't have remorse for it. Be proud about it.
Liz reported a lot of, unusual.
So what's going on, guys? My name's Mr. Dalek Cheney, and we're going to be answering the age-old question here in today's video. What happens after round 255 in Black Ops 4 Zombies? There's a lot of misconception in the community on how exactly high rounds were. 255. That was the highest round you could possibly get to, and you just couldn't advance any further past that. In Black Ops 4, that limit is removed, and you can now surpass that limit 4 times over. Round 2, I got a blue suit on Blood of the Dead with over 260 rounds, and I'll be using their footage in this video. Please go ahead and check out the link down below and check them out once you finish watching this. After you complete round 255, something very weird happens. You notice that your UI showing the round counter suddenly disappears. Now you would assume that your game might have reset and started back on round 1, but in actual fact, that's not the case at all. You don't have a round counter and your round counter's bugged, but you are on round 256, and it will continue like a normal round 256 would be in a game of zombies. You just can't see the number in the top left. But once you've completed round 256 and it goes into round 257, the round counter resets and now shows round 1. But gameplay is unaffected and still plays like it would on round 257. Now the misconception comes right here, where people assume that your game has reset because the round has disappeared, when in actual fact it hasn't. It's just the heads-up display bugging out.
Really?
I make a lot of these high-round and world record videos, and one comment I see again and again, especially in the last year or so, is that Zombies is dead or that no one's playing it anymore. But what if I told you I made this exact video 2.5 years ago, Solo World? So I think today is the day we'll look back at my 2018 video and see exactly where each map was.
World at War around 148 that's going to be a challenge, that isn't it? Because you've got no quick revive. Double tap this for hold, and you can't use the wonder weapon because it just takes your jug away, so...
Because possession was at the bottom of his desires. He wanted to possess them, as he said, as if he would possess a Porsche or a potted plant. And a memorable quote from Ted, where it's an FBI agent, was, if you have enough time, you can do anything you want to do.
Can you cover me a minute? I'm just going to turn my volume down on my thing.
It seemed Bundy had found the perfect inspiration for his crimes.
Reconstructed those magazine covers.
Can you still hear me?
Were found were styled in different ways than they normally would, with different clothing and different makeup on. Often, after striking and rendering the girl unconscious,
and in 2018, the highest round was round 9,072 by Instakiller, and in the time since then, it has still not changed. However, recently there has been a strategy change to this map where instead of using the Flogger Trap constantly, you only use the Wonder Wop, and this could theoretically push the world record up to around 11 or 12,000 in the future. For our last World War map, we had Derice. In 2018, the highest round on this map was round 142, and as of today, in 2020, it now stands around 148 by gross. You may notice that this is significantly lower than any of the other maps, and that is because World War Derice is the only World War map with more than 24 zombies per round. Before we get into the Black Ops description now,
Bundy was sentenced to 15 years for the kidnapping, but remarkably he escaped and was soon on the run and headed for his most barbaric killing spree yet.
Back in 2018,
this is a vicious animal who was foaming at the mouth when he was inside that house.
To the waiting crowds outside Florida State Prison, one of America's most prolific serial killers had become a demon in human form.
Most of the reason for this map being
penetrated
pushed
one of
up
them
as
with
much as
a
it has
branch.
is due to a slightly
He
faster
had bite
version of
marks
the
on his
thought
buttocks.
trap strategy that's standard on 5.5 rounds and has been for a few years. And now since these maps did actually come with a hardened version of Black Ops 1 at launch,
To the public, Bundy's murders defied belief,
before we go
but
to the
Bundy
DLC
himself
maps.
offered a clear
Starting
analysis
those
of
off,
what
we have
had
Black
led him
Ops
to
1
kill.
Knock, where the record for 3 years ago was around 144 by Capino, and in the time since then it has been tied by Private Kick-Ass, but it has not been beaten. Our next map is Black Ops 1 Verrückt. The record as of 2018 was 192 rounds and stands at around 206 in 2020 by Furret. That's a name you're going to be hearing a lot in the next few maps, so be prepared for that one. Next up, we have Black Ops 1 Shino Numa. The world record is and was around 202 by Year Adopted. This is actually the longest standing Zombies world record, with this game being played in March of 2018. And what's funny is that this map
Gotta get me a starter island.
Florida.
There we go.
Felt it was aggressive.
Oh, somebody's on that one.
actually has potential to be pushed as high as around 230 to around 235, but no world record player actually 3 years ago had a world record of around 227 and has been pushed all the way up to around 246 by Fleur. We can finally move into the DLC maps now. I know those were DLC maps, but it's all the same. But we're going to be getting with Ascension. The world record on here 3 years ago was around 221, and now it is around 240 by Furret. I told you were going to hear that name again, and you will once more. Moving on from there, we get to talk about Call of the Dead, where the highest round
and left most co-eds here terrified.
by Oxygen. Just last week, actually, Oxygen
So
pushed up the world record up to around 91 after Mac and Rules had briefly snatched it away from him a few months prior. Our next map is Shangri-La, everybody's favorite Mars map, and yes, it's actually on Mars. I will fight anyone that says otherwise. But the record on here 3 years ago stood
The
at
frenzied attacks at the sorority house marked a
it's
dramatic change in
194
Bundy's
rounds by
deteriorating
Ian
mental
and
state.
For the last Zombies map on Black Ops 1, we have where in
There
our
would be
original
one
video the
final
record stood at around 208, and now in the awful year of 2020, the record stands around 222 by once again Furret. I'm excited now because I finally get to talk about my favorite game, Black Ops 2. It stinks that we're gonna have
Someone got around 141 on transit. Who the fuck would want to do that? That's
Who the
so
fuck was gonna
depressing.
go past round 10 on transit? Well, to be fair, as he goes to 255 on transit.
Yeah, with mods.
Yeah. Took me 5 minutes.
Police at the time of Bundy's arrest
Defo didn't just give yourself fucking 4 million points and fucking pack-a-punch ray gun and fucking jet gun. The jet gun's just so bad though.
Not when you put infinite ammo on.
Yeah, but without it, like no mods and nothing. When you build the jet gun, it's so bad.
I never built the jet gun without mods.
Me and Joe did a few times.
The man went to find the killer ended when Bundy was arrested in a small town on the Florida coast.
Do you know it was his girlfriend that gave him up?
His mental state shocked police.
What?
His well, Ted Bundy's fiance was the one that gave his name to the police.
Oh yeah, that was the girl that was you know where he was in prison and he breathed on the window when he read hacksaw. Is that his wife or fiance?
Nah, that was his wife when it like the one that he was with before like during the killings. That was one that I give his name, and then that was someone that was one of his old mates that was sticking by him.
Oh.
Actually, no, yeah, it was that girl.
And for the last of our green
Oh yeah, it was.
we have Farm. The old world record was around 93 and now stands at around 96 by once again Chris Bolton. That's a name that you're going to be hearing once again. And for the last time, no shot.
Someone got around 200 on Newtown.
Mhm.
The record stood around 96. Called Fast Rate. Is now really happy because this next entry I get to
130 on Dead Eyes.
not a huge fan of the map, but the world record holder I'm a huge fan of. For 6 years, the world record was around 120.
The killer
2024,
that
and
had
now
left
it
a
stands
trail
around
of bodies across
130
America
at
had come out of
1.3,
the
and has now
shadows,
been jumped
but it
up
wasn't
all the way
going
to
down
round
without a fight.
233 by Stealth McPhilton. He was able to push his record all the way. The world record used to be around 196 in 2018, and now it has been absolutely skyrocketed all the way up to around 233 by Wonder. The reason that this map has been pushed up so much is because of a Black Ops 2 PC version of the game
Protesting his
called
innocence,
Redacted, where
he was
it
going
doesn't
to lead
actually
his own
error you
defense.
in the same way
The
the
public
console
would have
does,
to
and you have
prepare
a much
themselves for
longer
a
time
new
to play the
Bundy.
game.
Ted, the
And
show.
oh boy, we get to talk about Tidy Barbecue once again. First, we have to talk about the map itself, the Origins. Back during our
Bundy's
first video, the
trials were
highest
among the
round was
first to be televised,
148,
and
and now
his
it's been
notoriety
pushed up to
turned him
around
into a media
150 by Tidy
circus.
Barbecue, who's my freaking dad.
The
And
ego,
for this map being
narcissism,
one
and
that is
outright
probably the
arrogance
most
of the
played of
serial
all time,
killer
and
on
is a
open
fairly
display,
quick world
and
record
created a
being
figure of
25
grotesque
hours. This
fascination.
record has been fairly uncontested in the last few years, where Tidy Barbecue having it around 148 and then having around 150.
Probably also
No one in the 3 years since has
were
had
fascinated
around
by
149.
the
But interestingly
enormity
enough,
of
Tidy
what they
Barbecue
thought he had
himself
done.
rounds for this game.
And
Then you know
the
the
fact
highest
that
round that you can achieve is around 255. Once you get there,
somebody
it is an
described
infinite
him
round, so
as,
most maps have a lot of
kind
ties
of
for the
a
world
lot
record.
of
Because of this, for certain
common
maps, I'll be
people's
mentioning the fastest person to get there, and some of them I'll just be randomly
kind of
picking out
person they
from
would
all
like
the
their daughter to
Round
marry.
255 Origins
And
in
so
93
I think
hours,
that there's
19 minutes,
frightening about the prospect
and
that
19 seconds.
this all-American looking guy could be a serial killer.
Bundy became a cult figure. Women flocked to his trial.
I've got a video for you to watch. You'll probably like it.
What is it?
No Through Road. It's posted 12 years ago. It's got 1.6 million views. Fuck me, it's scary.
Try to imagine yourself in his place. See how he's feeling. Looking at the
Oh, this is...
Why do you do it?
I don't know.
Robin Lloyd, Channel 4 News.
I don't even know what that is. That's not
Ted has this gallery of women nearly every day in court, and they would send him messages. They would try to get his attention. They would try to catch his eye. And then later, when he was on death row, he'd get tons of mail from them. They would send him nude pictures of themselves, erotic stories, their fantasies of being with him. It's a very bizarre syndrome, and
I'm just gonna have a look at the right. Turn the camera. I'm just gonna see.
The man I know best right now.
Stop.
His ego led him to believe that there wasn't a brighter attorney out there, even though he had never finished law school.
The extraordinary part about the Bundy trial was the extent of his participation in it.
Bundy agreed every inch the lawyer, cross-examining witnesses, analysing blood samples, even questioning forensic evidence of bite marks taken from the victim's bottom.
I'll turn the camera off.
He swaggered across the courtroom and he does all the gestures, puts his hands down, and he watched enough courtroom and enough Perry Mason on television that he absolutely looked and sounded the part of a lawyer. And it was just amazing to believe that this was the guy that was accused of all these brutal crimes.
This looks
Just as he had separated his murders from his everyday life, in court, Bundy separated the serial killer from the lawyer, though the jurors felt differently.
He was apparently thinking he was coming across as a lawyer, and they were seeing him in a much different light. He never really appreciated the weight of the accusations that he carried with him and the effect that had on ordinary people.
Bundy appeared to relish the role of lawyer, at one stage launching into such an excruciatingly detailed cross-examination that
How long does it get to take to get around 25, 50, you may say?
his trials were descending into chaos.
Went day and night on his whim. He got to the point of auditioning some of the lawyers for who would make the opening statement, who would cross-examine certain witnesses, who would make the closing argument. The lawyers trying to conduct an overall strategy of a trial. this was impossible to deal with. You couldn't have a theory of defense
Nah,
when the
fuck that.
client was constantly pulling the rug out from under you.
In a final act of farce, Bundy used a legal quirk of Florida law, the fact that his girlfriend was under oath, to conduct a brief but legal marriage ceremony.
Here again is the difference in Ted as a defendant who doesn't see the significance of what he's doing to the jury, and Ted, the supposed lawyer in the case. I guess to Ted, it felt or made it seem that he was humanizing himself, but it looked like a trick. To me, it looked like a trick. Maybe he didn't care how it would look to a jury.
Wedding or no wedding, the jury was in no doubt.
Therefore, it is sentenced to this court as to count one of the indictment that you, Theodore Robert Bundy, be adjudicated guilty of murder in first degree, and that you be sentenced to death for the murder of Kimberly Diane Leach.
In the 10 years that Bundy spent on death
Enemy of the
row,
Mustang and Sally.
books
So that
and
is
films
2
vied
out
to
of
explain
32. We
what
are
had
1/16th
motivated this
of the way there.
seductive serial
Ladies and gents,
Ted
hey
Bundy
guys,
was,
how's it going?
A gruesome
May as well use all my
celebrity
ammo on these
in
things
this
before I
country.
get rid of them like this.
And,
Bang.
especially in Florida because of the murders he committed here.
Let's see, can I make it through?
And at
I
the
don't want to risk
time,
it. Alright,
he
screw it. I'm just gonna grab the MP5K off the
easily
wall.
have,
Don't want to blow myself up
been
with
called and
those.
was considered
I just need to get
the most
that gun out of the
hated
way.
man
A lot of the guns I'm upgrading are just to get out of the
As
way.
his appeals
Some of them are
ran
the
out,
earlier ones,
Yo.
like the MP5
Bundy
though.
began thinking about how he would be
Most of
Yo.
them
remembered.
are just passing.
I'm talking to someone on my stream.
No bones about it. I am looking for an opportunity to tell the story as best I can in a way that makes sense to me, in a way to tell the story. Not just you or the
Yes,
family,
Alan.
but that's very important. But
How are
also
we doing,
about
mate?
my own family. You see, I saw the look in my
Yes, Alan.
stepson's eyes yesterday.
How are we doing, mate?
And to see the look in his eyes, confirmed my worst fears. See, he said, could you, he was just asking.
This documentary that I'm watching is actually really good, you know.
He was writing a question.
You should watch it. It's called.
You know, that he was,
Hey, what is it called?
bewildered he was.
I want the
Serial
origin.
Killers.
Would you be able to get the origins coming for me?
I can't get it. I know Joe's got it.
A young woman walks down an alleyway on her way home from college, illuminated only in small puddles of light by the lamps above her. Little does she know, a man will be waiting for her as she emerges into the car park. Poor soul, she thinks after seeing that well-dressed man is struggling to carry books to his Volkswagen Beetle,
Round 36,
especially as one of
fucking
his
hell.
arms is in a sling. She walks over to him and offers assistance, to which the polite and softly spoken man gives her his utmost thanks. As she takes some of the books and leans down to place them in the passenger seat, he hits her over the head with a tire iron. He gets into the driver's seat and leaves the scene. He'll strangle
Oh,
her
I
like
seen
he
that
did
thing you
many
built,
others
the Mordecai
who
thing
once
from
killed
a regular show.
He's the quintessential maniac. His name
That was
is
fucking
Ted Bundy.
awesome,
The
dude.
scene we just described
I've made
is the
Kenny as well.
guy of this particular serial killer.
Oh,
Well,
Kenny's
Bundy had
fucking
planned
sick.
his murders. Bundy's thing was to use his good looks, his speaking skills, and his educated demeanor to lure people into his trap. At times, he'd put his arm in a sling or even walk on crutches to give his victims a false sense of security. How harmful could a man be on crutches
games
and
and another
dressed in a
does
suit, driving a cheap car?
watches
This is why he was
sexuality,
so
the
hard to
art
catch. He just
of
didn't
lovemaking.
fit the profile
Most
of a
people
serial
keep their
killer.
lovemaking
What he did absolutely
private,
disgusting
whereas
things to
us growing
people
up,
at the
but
moment
when
they
you
died
get the
and
cold,
after they died.
I know a
He
sexual
probably should have
text
been
code,
caught
come
much
on,
earlier than
this
he
was
was.
video.
After
At
all,
first,
when
it
young
starts
women
with
went
you're
out
just
and never
naming
came back
the
on a
few words that you know, running back and forth, you're looking out windows, you know, making sure that mom isn't home. Yeah, remember the free pool signs are the equivalent of me handing out free cigarettes outside of an school.
To a 9-year-old? Really? I mean, I get the whole thing of smoking behind the bike sheds, you know. I didn't do it because I had raging asthma. For me, it would just be convulsing and dying behind the bike sheds if I did that.
Sometimes it would just be want to see, click here in the corner, and it, you know, you're like, well, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but what site are you on though? Because there's not normal sites have those little clickbaity porn things. My window just opened.
And she left him after midnight.
On his
On
own.
the walk home
God?
to her sorority house, she
Not
was
now.
spotted by a male friend who was driving a car. He shouted out the window, "Hey George, what's happening?" She chatted with him for a minute or two and expressed that she was a bit nervous about her upcoming Spanish exam. Later, witnesses told the cops that they'd seen some guy skulking around in an alleyway close to Hawkins's. A guy whose arm was in a sling. One woman said he asked her to help him load a briefcase into a light brown Volkswagen Beetle. Little did she know at the time how close she was to being murdered. Hawkins wasn't so lucky. She fell for the trick as any helpful person might. We know what happened though because Bundy later talked about it. She was close enough to his car. He hit her over the head with a crowbar, which knocked her clean out. When she came around, she was obviously confused. Although to Bundy's surprise, she seemed to think and turned up to help her with Spanish. She was evidently in shock. This is what Bundy said about that. It's odd that kinds of things people will say under those circumstances. He strangled her and dumped her body.
Let's go play this child-friendly VR chat.
I
I was summoned to a sex dungeon.
Imagine how
I
demanding
saw
it was
things.
returning to
No
a body
joke.
that was
My daughter
decomposed.
was
Had
going
his
dazzlers for
reasons,
the best
but
dad's
we'll get
games
to that.
and never dad's
Bundy was
watches.
brazen,
Guys,
there's no
before we
doubt
get
about it.
consultant done.
He didn't
You're
ever
really
think he'd be
bad.
caught.
No,
He
I'm
thought he
joking,
was
baby.
too intelligent for the police. After all, he worked in politics. He worked as an assistant director of the Seattle Crime Prevention Advisory Committee, where he wrote a paper on rape prevention. He did a stint in the Department of Emergency Services, where he talked about missing women and how to find them. And that's likely why Bundy didn't have any qualms about returning to the alleyway from where he picked up Hawkins. The day after the abduction, he was there at the same time as the police, hiding in plain sight as he picked up one of the girl's shoes and her necklace. If he wasn't picking up girls in a car park or close by one, he was sneaking into basements while they slept and then bludgeoning the victim with some kind of iron bar. Bundy was like the boogeyman, a serial killer that crawled through windows and viciously attacked people while they were at their most vulnerable. But he was also a con artist. He played confidence tricks and he was very good at it. Investigators knew that when girls went missing, at times a man was seen with an arm in a sling. A man that owned a VW Beetle. Surely Bundy was easy prey after that. How many VW Beetles were there in those areas when the abduction happened? Areas dotted around the Pacific Northwest. The reality was Bundy's reign of terror was only in the early stages. The public and police were worried, that's for sure. Young folks stopped hitching rides, and many became fearful of talking to strangers or leaving their windows open at night. Those with most to fear were young white women. Bundy's victims were almost always in their late teens or early 20s. They were Caucasian, and most of them were attractive. They studied at university and were said to be intelligent and gifted students. Another thing was the fact that each girl disappeared at a college where construction work was going on. Did the disappearances complete? Wondered investigators. They just didn't know. They had very little forensic evidence to work with, and there were no bodies. But didn't even cops thought the girls had just taken off someplace. Nothing about their personalities and state of mind suggested that. Only weeks after Hawkins was missing, two women were abducted in broad daylight at Lake Samana State Park, not far from the city of Seattle. Bundy had first approached 5 women in the park, and in the described as a Canadian or British accent, the man introduced himself as Ted. Ted, dressed in a pressed white tennis outfit with one arm in a sling, politely asked him if they could help him unload a sailboat from his bronze-colored Volkswagen Beetle. Both of them said no, but one followed him to his car. Thankfully, she ran away when she became aware that there was no sailboat. That day, Bundy managed to enlist one woman for help, and he later abducted another close to a restaurant. Both would die. Did he kill one in front of the other? He once said that that was true, but close to his execution date, he recanted that terribly bleak detail. This is not a story about his crimes, though. What we want to know is how the hell did the police not get closer to Bundy, seeing as he was using the same car, the same sling trick, and so the same modus operandi. He even told the girls that escaped that he was named Ted. What more did the cops need? A written confession? They were closer, but still a long way from written. This now had a good description of this Ted guy, and it did quite look like him. In no time at all, this sketch appeared in many newspapers and was shown on TV. Remember that we said Bundy worked at the Department of Emergency Services? Well, one of his co-workers there saw the sketch and heard about the Volkswagen Beetle, and she knew she was looking at her colleague, Mr. Bundy. She made a call to the cops, as did another person that knew Ted Bundy. The cops at the time were receiving something like 200 of these calls in one day, and they quickly assumed that a clean-cut law student with no criminal record couldn't be behind the abductions. Serial killers didn't look like that. Or so they thought. The heat was on, though, and Bundy knew it. A couple of months after his last murder, bones were being found.
Lewis, only 212 rounds left.
Yay.
Where the cops hadn't thought of it. It was fortunate for Bundy then that he was accepted to study at the University of Utah Law School. He packed his bags and headed south in August of '74. He was was only in Utah a month when he started killing again. September 2nd, a hitchhiker. October 2nd, a 16-year-old girl. October 18th, a 17-year-old girl from a pizza parlor. It turned out that she was the daughter of a police chief. After her decomposing body was found on a hiking trail, the post-mortem exam revealed that Bundy had kept her alive for perhaps 7 days. Each had been subjected to the most brutal depravity, although Bundy admitted years later that after he killed them, he shampooed their hair and applied makeup to their faces, keeping them in the state that he liked. He wanted the physical possession of the remains, and he wanted to do what he wanted to them. He sometimes chopped them, sometimes kept heads in his apartment, and he dressed them in the way he wanted them to look. And then he took a photograph. When you work hard to do something right, he once said, you don't want to forget it. More abductions happened, more murders, as well as attempted abductions. The disappearances were reported in the media, and after reading about them, a woman named Elizabeth Klepfer, who dated Bundy back when he was in Washington, put 2 and 2 together. She not only called the King County cops and told them that she thought she had been dating the killer, but she also told the Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office and said the same. She was still talking to Bundy at this point on the telephone, but she didn't say anything about her calls. For her, the sketch looked like Ted Bundy. The car was Bundy's, and so the murders following him around were just too much of a coincidence. Bundy started then killing in Colorado. Things didn't change much. Death by blunt force trauma, sometimes strangulation. Bodies dumped, mutilated, sometimes wearing clothes that weren't theirs. 1975 drew to an end, and there were more victims, some whose bodies have never been found. 76 turned out to be another bloody year. So how come Washington cops weren't at the very least looking at Bundy? They only did that after they discovered a new toy, a computer and a database. They found that they could input data about the murders, and the computer would compare that data with the data already in the system. Thousands of names were in that database, but only 26 names matched the crimes. Bundy's was one of them. The problem was connecting the Utah and Colorado murders to the Pacific Northwest murders. At the time, there were no large databases containing all the state's police departments. The fact of the matter was, while the cops should have known better after the tip-offs, because Bundy moved around, he managed to evade capture, but then he was pulled over by a cop in a Salt Lake City suburb after he'd been driving around looking suspicious. On searching Bundy's car, the cop found quite a collection of suspicious items: a ski mask, trash bags, handcuffs, a crowbar, lengths of rope, and an ice pick. All that was pretty much the consummate serial killer's stash. It didn't take long for the cops to understand that they might have a maniac on their hands, and they had the phone call from Bundy's lover in their records, and they had his car description from one of the abductors. Still, after searching his house, the police didn't have enough to keep him. One thing they didn't find that day was a bunch of photographs of his dead victims. Things would have been very different had they discovered those awful snaps. Bundy was on the loose again, but he was being monitored all day long. Some of the cops flew to Seattle to speak to Bundy's lover. She told them that some things just didn't add up, such as why did he keep crutches in his house? And what about that plaster of Paris? Not to mention surgical gloves, big knives, meat cleaver, and a bag full of women's clothes. Bundy was certainly in a fix now, but he was by no means done. He sold his beloved Beetle, but that was soon sequestered by investigators who gave the interior a good going over. What they found were strands of hair from females, and those females were very likely victims of murder. Police brought Bundy in and put him in a lineup, but they only had enough evidence to possibly put him on trial for aggravated kidnapping and attempted criminal assault. His parents paid his $15,000 bail, and off he went once again, a free man, but under heavy round-the-clock surveillance. He actually lived with his lover again while he was on bail, which should have been a very strange time for her. At this point, the lead investigators from Utah, Washington, and Colorado all finally got...
Hey Lewis, I reckon we should at least get to 100.
Pretty darn sure that they had a serial killer on
That's the minimum round I want to get to.
Before they could get him for murder, though, he faced trial for kidnapping and assault. He was found guilty and sentenced to 1 to 15 years in the Utah State Prison. While in there, he was charged with just one of the murders. Bundy was a desperate man around this time, likely knowing that his crimes, or most of them, would catch up with him, and he'd be looking at the death penalty. He chose to defend himself, and because of that, he didn't have to wear handcuffs or leg shackles in court. On one of those court appearances, he managed to convince the court he needed the library, and he leapt from a window. He actually survived for 6 days around the wilderness of the Aspen Mountains, but was eventually picked up by the cops. The case against him for that one murder was actually quite weak, but it seemed that Bundy believed they would get him. If he was done for that case, more cases might follow. Over a period of 6 months, he got his hands on a floor plan of the jail. He saved money after getting it smuggled in by visitors, and he also got himself a hacksaw. On December 30th, 1977, Bundy filled his bed with books, so it might look like he was sleeping. He then got through the ceiling and into an apartment. There, he changed into civilian clothes and then he walked out of the jail. He went from Chicago to Atlanta to Florida in stolen cars, only stopping to steal certain items or wallets from people. On January 15th, 1978, he walked around at night in Florida State University. In the early hours of the morning, he assaulted, bludgeoned, strangled, and bit 3 sleeping women in 3 different rooms, all within about 15 minutes. 2 of them survived, but were very badly injured. He left the sorority house and went to an apartment building where he viciously attacked another girl, fracturing her skull and jaw. There, he left behind one of his favorite things, his pantyhose mask. Police also found sperm and hair samples.
But if it does, I guess it's not the end of the world.
Jacksonville, where he abducted and killed a 12-year-old girl.
Okay, we got all the fire staff pieces, that's good. Don't want to get stomped on. Well, anyways, we'll get perk number 3 out of the way. Stamina up. That's going to be very helpful. And now we'll make our way to Gen 4 and get this thing upgraded. Oh, I don't have a lot of ammo on this MP40, do I? Well,
on his way to
gotta trust. It's never an easy thing. Being down here with her
in the car. He was not aware that he was carrying one of the USA's most wanted fugitives.
No?
He certainly had no idea that the occupant of his vehicle would become known as one of the worst, most vile serial killers of all time.
This is tricky. This is a tricky situation. I can buy like an AK off the wall or something like that. But yeah, I'll take that nuke. It's gonna help me very much. Let me try grenades.
On January 24th, 1989, age 42, Bundy took his final breaths in the electric chair. His last words were, "I'd like you to give my love to my family and friends."
It's ready.
Now,
Yay,
you
I'm
need
so
to
glad
watch
I didn't
this.
buy a
One
gun
of the
off
most
the wall.
evil
And the
serial
round
killers
ended.
in
You know,
America.
that's the thing I like about Origins. The round just straight up ends. If you walk away from crawlers or injured zombies, seriously bothers me. Anyways, we got the snow now. We really need to capitalize on that. We need to get some of these iced out pieces. And Generator 6 is under attack. Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Ted Bundy, one of America's most infamous serial killers, had been sitting on death row for 10 years and was finally executed for his...
Alleviated quite a bit of pressure off from that, so that's good. We still need that ice staff. And you know what? Quite frankly, we can build a fire as well, but I'm not going to prioritize that. Ooh, good. Hey guys, I have a treat for you. Bam! Look at that. Oh, goodness gracious.
Go away, I'm live. No, they can't. Go away. Can you do it yourself? So why would you get my mates who are lads? Exactly, do it yourself. So, just learn to fight.
I'm Lily Collins, this is Zac Efron.
And we're gonna walk you through a scene shot by shot from Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. This scene is very near the beginning of the movie. Elizabeth Kendall was Ted Bundy's partner for many, many years. Her daughter Molly was in a unit together with Ted Bundy. It's the first moment of confrontation between Liz and Ted, really confronting him about what happened. And it's kind of the start.
Yay, Lewis nearly halfway. Well, nowhere near halfway. We're nearly a quarter of the way.
The Cruise kids? Some of the Cruise kids drew some of them.
I think Morgan drew a lot of them.
Who plays Molly drew a lot of them. She drew one of the shark ones too.
Shout out to Morgan on Molly.
So great.
Hello. So it was kind of hard to open the door.
Another max ammo. You're so generous. Hopefully this doesn't affect my max ammo later on in the game. That'd be a cruel punishment. Okay, got that. Let's find some dig sites, please. That's awesome. Okay, we have obtained it. It is very, very good. Let me grab speed Kohler. Here we go. Perk number 4 out of 8. We're halfway there. We got the easy part out of the way. That's awesome. Okay, we have obtained it. That is very, very good. Let me grab speed Kohler. Here we go.
Kohler.
It's actually one over here. A little bit helpful. We have all 3 parts. There we go. Oh, dear lordy lord. We're finally back. So, I'm actually going to take the 1 staff. I'll just have that as a keepsake just in case I want to go grab it again. I will slice you, and I will move on. We are now going to be looking for as many dig sites as possible to get this golden shovel as soon as possible, then we can start getting the other perks. There we go, we got the golden shovel, boys. Okay, now it's time to go back to the mound. Seconds later, oh, I don't want to get stomped on though.
That's James Hetfield from Metallica playing a sheriff.
So here's
He
what
brought
we'll
his whole family
do
to set, and it was his wife's
I don't want to get stomped on. I gotta grab the ice
Kids were
staff
like,
again.
Dad,
So,
this is so weird. He's like, I know I've got all my
I don't want the
tattoos
ballista.
covered
Thank you
up.
very
I'm like,
much. Thanks for the offer.
like,
Alright,
it was
well,
so
the
great.
chariots
He was so
aren't
good.
up anymore, so
James actually came
there we go. We got another achievement.
Oh, yeah.
That's
He'd
actually
never acted before.
the
It was the first
challenge
time he
for
ever
spending
done
30,000 points. That's the one we get done with him.
I know. I was like, I don't buy it. I
Are the
don't
chariots
know.
lit up again? Yes, they are. Okay, well, we still gotta go through another round. And Panzer actually might be spawning in. I think he is spawning in right now.
Ever been to the town
So,
of Murray?
I gotta be very careful of that. Yep, there he is.
I just wanted to
Where is
say
he?
that.
Okay.
Actually believe this part.
Oh, there goes my shield.
All the papers tell.
Ted in his civilian life is much more cavalier and loving towards Liz. In stark contrast to this inside prison walls, real prison walls.
Stay away, Panzer.
I
Can
think
you
we all
die?
bring different sides of each other out. It's
There,
just
he's
so
dead.
interesting to see these
He's
things
dead.
because
The
I
meat
didn't
man's
know
dead.
that, which is what
Is that
Liz
zombie blood?
didn't know
That's
that
good.
yet. So
Alright, let's see if we can find any of these sites, these red dig sites. Anywhere at Gen 5.
This skip back was great because this wasn't there before, and it shows what was going on. This all happened
in between the time they had to see each other.
Generator 5, going once, going twice. Doesn't look like it. Gen 6 this time. And hopefully we find
We
it.
settled this in a real.
And then when we shot in the active jail, we had to stop filming a couple times
Damn. Oh,
because
God
the
almighty.
inmates were walking through the set, and we had to all
Looks like I gotta go
stay
take care
in
of
our
that. I
rooms
was about to
and
sit
just
down
look
here
out
and chill
the
again,
glass.
but no.
And this image right here was based on a photograph. I found
Damn
a
it.
photograph and I was comparing it to
Alright,
everyone
well,
in that room.
hopefully.
It's shocking
Wow.
how well they
Just
passed
pure
it.
destruction. Oh, yay. There is back. Some green one, so
What was
I'll
interesting
take
about
that.
this whole sequence
Hell
actually
yeah.
is that it wasn't
Alright,
scripted
so,
to be edited
now
this way.
it's time
Originally,
to
it was
search
this
for another
entire
zombie
scene
blood.
playing out
Let's
from
see if
start
that's
to finish,
possible.
and
One
when
of the
the
dig
scenes
sites.
are
What?
it adds to the understanding
What?
of what is going through Liz's mind at this moment.
Where is it?
Rise. You are hereby charged with aggravated kidnapping and attempted criminal assault. We got your bail reduced. Seattle will live tomorrow.
It's kind of shocking to imagine a single person over the course of several decades coming back to
Lewis, right there. Don't do anything. I'm just going to give my sister a charger.
Right.
Fucking hate how many wires I've got to get up.
Freak out.
Come here, I'll throw it to
I love
you.
the scene in the way that it's written over each other's shoulders. There are different intentions going on, and there's so much lying involved, and yet we both don't know it from each other because I don't see you, you don't see me, which is actually a great moment of showing kind of the genesis of their relationship.
That look on Lily's face right there. I love your performance in this, and I knew something special was going on. Brandon, our director of photography, was hanging on it.
Brandon was so amazing at finding those moments.
And he found like things like this.
It's that not wanting to believe something and still sensing something is wrong and it being super painful, but that person is saying exactly what you want to hear.
I know it's hard being apart. We only have 4 semesters between us and our place in the sound with a dog and a car.
That's why I, a couple frames later, laugh. Because, I mean, he knows exactly what to say to Liz in order to get her back and to gain that trust back. And that laugh was almost, for me, a moment of her laughing at, yeah, how could I have been so silly? You're right.
Her reaction is so genuine, and she believes him. But I can't tell if Ted just came up with these lies on the spot or if he premeditated that.
Just like we always dreamed.
Lying comes so effortlessly, and he's so quick and intuitive. It's almost impossible to pin the blame on somebody like that.
Oh, monkey! Hey, what's up? Good to see you.
Liz's daughter, Molly, comes out. She was great. She was so fun to work with. All of this was kind of improv.
This sack of potatoes is getting heavy. Oh, I'm getting busy.
It is important to show Ted's relationship with Molly because you would want to believe and trust the person that your daughter feels so comfortable with. And Molly loved Ted, and they got along so well, obviously.
Yeah, good to see you. I missed you.
Right here, that look. That's how we know how she feels. That look right there. If I left you for 5 days when we were supposed to hang out, that's my fault.
Right.
He turns this by the end of the scene into
Onto
you.
me, being
and
it's
to
my
Liz.
problem and I'm overreacting.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we hope that you enjoy our movie, Extremely Wicked, Shocking, Evil, and Vile on Netflix.
Love you guys.
guy of the largest mass murder in the history of the United States. It's sick, but I think he was proud of it.
I think he took out his sexual fantasies on these boys. He accomplished his goal, and then he murdered.
I can't blame him for what he did to me and the others.
These people are talking about John Wayne Gacy. On the surface, the divorced stepfather of two seemed a solid citizen. He owned a successful construction business that he ran from his home in Cook County, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. He was active enough in politics to have had his picture taken with then First Lady Rosalind Carter. But the man who entertained neighborhood children would soon become known as the Killer Clown, a sexual psychopath who lured dozens of young male victims to his house before assaulting and then murdering them. Even with Gacy's handwritten map, it took the police weeks to recover all the bodies he had buried in the crawl space under his house. Gacy had been killing and burying his victims for at least 4 years. 11 of his victims have still not been identified. In 1981, the courthouse here in Cook County, Illinois, was the site of John Wayne Gacy's trial for mass murder. He was convicted and sentenced to death for torturing and then killing 33 young men and boys.
You know what the worst thing about long hair is?
What?
You know when you've got a drink here,
Mm.
and it's in like a glass, and you tilt your head just to drink the glass, and your hair gets fucking wet.
Can you cover me a sec whilst I go get a drink?
Yeah, sure.
Dear God. Yeah, definitely a good idea to get this open and staff. What's a check? There it is. Oh my God, I just creamed myself. Grab it, yes. Oh yeah. Let's see if we can find another one somehow. Imagine that, back to back. I don't think it's gonna be possible. Okay, so the next perk on the agenda is Quick Revive, which is a little bit special because this is the furthest I've gotten. Well,
I'm back.
Oh yeah, wagwan.
My record right now.
I think I've got a bit more points than you.
I don't know how I'm gonna feel.
No, I've got way more.
So now we're heading into blue. Next
I could just make you have no more points. I could just do that, and I have more points.
I don't care.
Oh well. This is the safest strat to do. Because if they get past yours, you know, just in case,
Mm.
they've still got to go through mine.
I'm not gonna get there in time. There's no way. Literally no way.
That's the closest the zombies got to us.
Crap, I'm almost out of ammo. Please, max ammo.
I don't know why, but I've got a fascination about serial killers.
Same. Fucking watching horror films all the time.
I've also got a fascination with prison. Mainly American prisons. I just love watching like the documentaries and that on them.
Yeah, like prison breaks and shit.
Mm.
Trying to find the zombie floods, dig up the dig sites. It's starting to destroy my
Apparently Joe's dad was in prison.
Probably for touching kids.
Alright, so we'll check.
Fat. Here.
Fat nigga, fat nigga, fat nigga.
Black nigga, black nigga, black nigga. Ugh. Fuck me.
Because I've checked.
Round 43.
God almighty, this is
Black boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when the nigga comes for you?
He's gonna touch your mum, he's gonna take your nut.
Take that.
He's gonna finger your sister up the bum.
Unit. We're on a mission, boys. If I can find it. I'll cream myself, I swear. Where is it? Where is you? Good. Oh god. Painful after a while. Okay, so there's the Wonder Fist machine. I'm gonna charge up my wind staff. I'm gonna get ready. I need to get ready for this. This is going to be challenging. Yes, Samantha, I get it. I get it. Alright. Try that. We can maybe pull through. Okay. His agent. And it moved. And it moved. Oh god. It moved. It moved. It moved like. This was excruciating. This took 2 hours. Leave a like if you want the reverse Rainbow Perk challenge. Goodbye. Hey, howdy ho, it is your own King.
If you watch Tim Hansen's latest video, you'll see what the new zombies map's like.
Fire babies and couldn't handle it for what abysmal. Oh yeah, the frames just drop heavy. I'm gonna go over to that holdout area over there and on the way kill zombies, accumulate guns and set everything up. So in a way it's kind of like regular zombies, I assume, but obviously, I mean, take a look. This is obviously not your standard zombies map. Oh, so fellas, these eyes, look at you. Alright, these eyes, look at you. And he knows in his brain that you're about
1,400 years.
You don't even know it's about to hit.
Fucking hell.
Who got that?
Some guy in West Virginia.
Oh, there was a fella who killed he killed his girlfriend. And he cut it up with what you use. It's like a chainsaw but for bushes.
Oh,
but it's like really.
Yeah,
it's not like a
yeah.
weed whacker. It's like really small. It's got like a little blade on it.
Yeah.
He cut it up with that, and he got 212 years. I'm gonna look at the longest prison sentences ever.
The longest one that's been served so far, I think it's like 83 years.
No, I mean the one that's been like, where the judge says,
Yeah, I
you
know.
for like...
I know what you mean, but someone's served 86 years in prison.
Holds the record for most life sentences given to a single person. Nichols is currently serving 161 life sentences.
Wow! Do you know the Oklahoma City bombing? The fella that did that serving 161 life sentences.
That's bullshit.
I know, he
Should we
killed
give him a medal?
niggas. Give him a medal.
Give him a world record for the most killing, for the most people killed.
Guinness World Records.
However, he was also sentenced for wounding 23, shooting 14 up. Charles Scott Robinson. The jury took up of 480.
Time for another uplifting video. So as everyone knows, prison is not a place you want to be, not just because you lose your freedom, but because there's a very real chance that you'll become a human pincushion. But despite the obvious risks of violence and surprise butt sex, some prisons stand out above the rest because of the horrendous conditions within them. So today,
Mate, I'm just watching Creepy Bastards, me.
in recent legends, lately, I figured I would gather the free one to investigate a low-budget TV show that he used to watch in 1999 that only aired for a few. In a clip shows Mickey Mouse walking along a locked city background with a worried expression as big footage from death. Number 3 is it's said to cause irreversible depression, which a friend named Lisa. The little girl liked to draw one day. The day Hitler disappeared for becoming that core of London. 8. Seven appeared again, and upon Hitler had played this cause over 200 children to take their own lives by either hanging themselves or jumping from high. It was at that moment that it was peaceful, but all of that Yankee wearing what appeared to be his mouth. The man petrified from beneath the old room. Need for some shaken, but now it's new bedroom. Number 9 is Annie.
Look this, I'm watching Insidious.
I've seen it so many times, it's boring now.
I know, but it's actually quite funny when you think about it.
Yes, there's a black man in prison.
Yes, there's a black man in prison.
He's not able to be out and terrorise the community anymore.
Terrorise the community. Oh, let me show how fucking funny you. I love watching, what's it called? American Horror Story. Have you watched it?
I've watched...
The Asylum?
Nah, I watched something like it. Oh right, I remember watching I was watching this KKK documentary, and some guy had a website, and I went to go look at the website, so I searched his name, and apparently his wife shot him.
Why? Because he was a member of the KKK?
Nah, well I don't know, but he was dead open about it, so she knew that he was a member. But
fucking bitch.
I know. But they didn't, like, apparently they didn't kill black people.
They never, they just didn't like them.
I know, but that's me. That's your mom. I was a kid once too.
When Dad was a little kid. You know, I wish I could, but I don't think we have any. He's really hopeless at keeping photos. Show me a picture of when I was a little kid. You are a little kid.
This is gonna be the second longest stream I've ever done.
It's gonna be the longest stream, it's gonna be like 18 hours, isn't it?
No, but I've done a 24-hour one, remember?
Yeah.
I swear, do you know that, do you know the bit of the piano? Like, where you can hear it, the first time I watched that, I absolutely shit myself.
Where she's playing the piano, and then the second one where where, like, she puts the baby back a kip, she goes up to the loft, I'm literally up to that bit now, goes down back to play the piano, and she just says, "Give me my baby!"
Give it to me, now!
Sounds like you, sister.
Oh, nah, that is a good film though.
The second one's not as scary, it's just, it's more like...
It's weird.
The second one.
The third one, it took me 4 months to be able to watch the third one.
What's the third one about?
The third one is where she gets hit by a car, and like it kind of makes her a slave.
Oh yeah, and then she gets hit by a car and she can't move, and then like she tries to contact her mum, but then our fella rapes her.
Nah, I swear it took me 4 months to be able to watch that.
Why was it scary?
Well, I thought it was at first. Bearing in mind I was only like 15 at the time.
Oh, I fucking love horror films.
Nah, I love them now, like. I can't watch them, they don't faze me anymore.
was a conspiracy that turned out to be true. You know when the film first starts and they get a knock at the door?
Mm.
You know that's you know when in the second one where the fella goes into...
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I know.
Where it's like, that's him knocking on the door.
Yeah.
That's mad, that.
And when Dalton falls off the ladders, that's connected back to the fourth one.
The fourth one? Wasn't the fourth one where it was Elise when she was the kid?
Yeah. I watched that at the cinema.
The fourth one?
Oh, right, there's a bit in the film.
Yeah,
there's a bit in the film, right, where like some man he's chasing them around the house and they push a cabinet over and it takes his head off, and I remember laughing at it in the cinema, and I got some really dirty looks for it. This is boring. They're not fucking telling me like why they're in that. That's why I want to know. That's why I'm watching them. Yeah, let's watch this Ireland one. I like Britain ones.
Lewis, I'm just turning the volume down again, it's too loud.
Right. Oh fuck, that was nearly bad. One of the sneaky fuckers got past me.
Oof. I'm gonna move my aim a bit over a bit, you know, just so they definitely can't get past us.
Yeah. And they always said, why the fuck is there a baby crying, but then I forgot it's the baby from the film, innit?
Campus Governor Brian Murphy is on his way to Seabase.
Scared of what?
A special landing where all new prisoners spend their first night in the jail.
I don't like when he walks around at night.
I wasn't going there when you were in prison before, was it? No, when Bob went back to the day. You picked up your charges there? I know, yeah. So, you should do that, so this sentence now is for 9 months for possession of knives and other items.
It's probably just interference. Those things are always somebody else's.
I don't know. It sounded so clear. It was like this whispering. It was...
You're only level 6. Actually, you've not really been doing much, have you?
No. When we get to round 100, I'm gonna start doing more. When we get to round 100, I'm gonna trade places with you.
Alright.
You know, so I can get XP.
When it gets to, when the sound ends, I'm gonna go quickly to get the electric trap, so I can get a liquid divinium.
On what round?
At the end of this one.
Oh.
See you tomorrow.
Have you ever noticed, you know, when the fellas, you know, where, like, they think someone breaks into his house? And then all of a sudden, do you want to trade places now?
Can do if you want.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move forward. Yeah, you just sit where I was sitting, and just aim sort of at the wall. Yeah, like this. Yeah, have you ever noticed in his class there's like a Saw reference?
Yeah. It's because the guy that produced that film, James Wan. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, this isn't good, this isn't good, this isn't good. Oh no, we fucked up.
I'm not moving back. Yeah, that was a terrible idea.
It's fine.
It's alright, it's not like you can't
I'm
just do
gonna
it
be.
again.
Well, I can't. I've got no deafes. So it looks like you're gonna be doing.
That?
We can do if you want, but.
Shall we? And do it again on another map?
I mean, I can't be asked doing it again.
I mean, we could do. What's a quicker map than Derry's? That's got Pack-a-Punch.
I don't know. Nice death machine you've got there.
Oh, you're welcome. It's actually called the Infernus. That's the name of a stripper from GTA 5. That was the worst idea we've ever had.
What, apart from the fact that being mates with Joe?
What?
Apart from the idea of being mates with Joe?
Yeah. Yay!
I'm back!
Hello.
Let me go get a liquid divinium.
Should we close up now, quick?
Let me try get a liquid div. Yeah, I got one. I got one.